Even return a text. Instead of calling or writing a letter, we might send a quick text missing you or thinking about you, and become so busy sometime that we can't even do that. 2 or 3 days later, and we be, oops, I forgot I was supposed to text him. I told him I was going to text him back. I told him I was going to call him back, because being busy will cause us to lose focus. This morning we're talking about don't let my busy schedule get in the way of God. This morning, church, I'm going to stop by, and sometimes we go into town and may not been in town in a while, may visit a family member, maybe visit a long lost friend. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to be in your town tomorrow, and I'm going to make sure I stop by. And you go to that town, and then you take care of what needs to be taken care of. Before you know it, you're already back at home, and you say, I can't believe I went right there and I didn't even stop by. I told him I was going to stop by. Sometimes my wife may send me to get something at H-E-B, and I can be right in the parking lot and still forget to pick up that one item that she may have asked for. We have to understand that being busy can change our life. Church, I want you to know today, make no mistake about it, we are living in some fast times right now. We're living in some busy days right now. As I said earlier today, I want you to keep this in your heart, keep it in your mind, keep it in your soul, that being busy is one of the devil's greatest tools that he wants you to use. We must be careful of the dangers of being busy. Please know that hard work and fast living can be a way of life. It's hard work pulling a 9 to 5 and then raising children. It's hard work taking care of the house, mowing the yard, and cooking, and not to leave out the many errands you may have running to and fro. Out of all these things that we go through, ripping and running can get the best of us. We can become so engulfed in our daily life that we begin to wonder that if it's not even enough time in the day. Make no mistake about it, we are living in some fast times right now. Make no mistake about it, many of God's children are eating, drinking, and being merry. It appears that we begin our week on Sunday, and before you know it, it's Wednesday already. I'm the only one like that. You're just getting your week started, and you look around and do a couple of things, and before you know it, you're already in the middle of the week. You begin to ask yourself, what is today? You talk to yourself, is it Monday or Tuesday? Or then you say, well, sometimes you have to look back, well, what did I do yesterday? What did I do Monday? What did I do Tuesday? And then sometimes I don't even get the answers then. I have to look to my wife and I say, Mary, what's today? And it's Wednesday. And then you think about Wednesday, well, how did those days pass me by? I say this because so many people, and even I, as a pastor, because as a child of God, because so many times people think that just because you serve God or you belong to God, you are not exempt from problems. They think you're not exempt from trials and tribulation. They think that you are not exempt from becoming too busy. But all of us, at one time or another, or many times, have become so focused in life that we lose track. We lose track of time. This is why the message is so important today. We can't allow our busy schedule to get in the way of God. That's good news, church. That's an eye-opener right there. If you've been ripping and running, you've been going a lot in life, you have so much on your schedule, and we're going to talk about that later on. This is a message for you today. This is a message for us. This is a message for all of God's children. We can't allow our busy schedules to get in the way of what God is wanting to do in our life. No hard work and fast living can be a part of life. But sometimes we have to slow down. Sometimes we have to wait, and sometimes we have to listen. Let me say that again. Sometimes in life, we have to slow down. We have to wait, and we have to listen. And I like to throw a word in there called especially. I like to throw this word in there called especially. We have to slow down. We have to wait and listen, especially when the one speaking is God. Sometimes we get in so big of a hurry, we don't even wait to see what God is telling us. So many times we get in so big of a hurry, we can't even allow God to direct our steps. And then we find ourselves, if I would have just waited. God, something was telling me to just slow down. Something was telling me to wait. Something was telling me to listen. And it always been said, an elderly lady used to always tell me, listen to that little still voice. There's a little voice, a little wheel turning inside of my. Said, why don't you wait? I know you got this, and I know you know the way, but I'm telling you just to slow down. I'm telling you to wait. In our lives, we try to keep God first. In our lives, we try to keep God first by getting out of bed, saying our prayers before we even get out of bed. We try to keep God first by saying grace before we even eat our food. Sometimes we try to keep God first before going to bed and falling asleep. We end our night by saying prayers unto God, thanking God for that day. Not to mention the many prayers we have in between. But sometimes our life can become so busy, we're crawling out of bed praying. We're walking to get our day started praying. Sometimes our life becomes so easy, we just start eating and devouring our food before we even give grace to God. Sometimes we even finish with our food. Oh, I forgot to thank God for the meal. Forgot to thank God for the drink. We become so busy that in life that before you know it, we've already gotten dressed and we're already driving down the road praying to God. And there's nothing wrong with that. So many times we wake up running with the day. When our feet are down on the floor, we're already running with the day. So today, God wants to help us balance our life. Isn't that good news? Anytime God wants to do something in your life, it's good news. God's message today is to help us balance our life so that we don't get too busy for Him. Isn't that, I want to help you balance your life. Then I'm going to tell you why I want to help you balance your life so that you don't get so busy or get too busy for me. Y'all need to know, we need to know that God want to do great things in our life. God want to direct our steps. God want to keep us safe from hurt, harm, and danger. God want to make us a new, it's say old things pass away. Behold, new things, because God want to do new things in our life. In order for God to do that, sometimes God have to balance our life. You know, if our life is not balanced, somebody in the world today, they say you throw it off. You know, don't matter, they throw it off. When you are not balanced, you basically throw it off. And a thrown off person will do anything. A thrown off person will say anything. A thrown off person is a person that's better left alone other than praying for them. Yes, God wants us living a balanced life. He says, come unto me, all you that labor are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. God wants us with a balanced life. Part of that balanced life includes not letting anything or anyone separate you from God. That's good news. Part of that balanced life is not letting anything or anyone separate you from God. Often I say we live in a world where people allow anything and anyone to separate them from God. We need to follow this pattern. Not let anything or anyone separate you from God. Part of that balanced life is listening to God. So many times we can get caught up listening to politics, listening to rumors, listening to all the negative in the world that we forget, that we fail to listen to God. The Bible says, he that had an ear, let him hear what the Spirit has to say. We have to regulate and let God balance what we're listening to. Part of that balanced life is waiting on God. And this can be a hard task for God's children, because so many times we want to get in a hurry. So many times God's people, we want to be first. You know, I often tell my wife, you know, traffic would be better if someone would slow, instead of speeding up to be first, sometimes hit the brakes and slow down and fall down behind the car. There's nothing wrong with waiting, and especially when you're waiting on God. We can't allow people, problem, or circumstances to become our first priority. We must know that, and please know this, we must know that people, problem, and circumstances will always keep you busy. And if you don't believe it, try it. Focus on your problem. Focus on a circumstance in your life. And better yet, focus on some of the people in your life and see if they won't keep you busy. They will have you just like the devil, going to and fro, ripping and running, don't know if you're going or coming. These three things alone can become so busy in your life that will have you unbalanced. Will not only have you unbalanced, will have you unyoked. Not only have you unyoked, will have you ripping and running. Not only ripping and running, will have you going to and fro in every direction except towards God. Church, I want you to remember this. This is one of the devil's favorite tools. Having you in your life busy. If I can keep you and your life busy, he don't have to worry about you spending time with God. If he can keep you and your life busy, he don't have to worry about you going to help somebody else. If he can keep you and your life busy, he knows that you're too tied up to do the things that God requires of you. So many times today, people are going to bed already busy. What are you talking about, Pastor? They're going to bed busy about tomorrow. Some of them are going to bed busy about next week. Some of them are going to bed busy about next month. Some of them are even going to bed busy about their next paycheck. So many times we'll wake up and even before talking to God, busy about what we have to do. Isn't that strange, church? Instead of talking to God, we wake up and we'll lay there busy mind, busy about what we have to do, busy about where we have to go, busy about the things that's out of our control, busy in your life, busy in my life. The Bible says we have to be careful because if we become so busy, we can end up becoming a busybody in other man's matter. I hope you're not a busybody in no one else's matter, but I hope you understand that being busy can cause you to be a busybody in other people's matter. We need to be reminded today that being busy is the devil's job, and he doesn't need your help. And that, y'all, somebody should have said amen. Being busy is the devil's job, and he doesn't need your help. Amen. And the reason being because he has already mastered being busy. He's already mastered going from my house to your house. Yes. He's already mastered going from your town to another town. He's already mastered going from state to state. He's already mastered ripping and running. He's already mastered stealing, killing, and destroying. He's already mastered going to and fro here and there. He has mastered his position. I want to let you know today, church, that he doesn't need your help. Today, church, as I get ready to close, I close with 8 items to help us not let our busy schedule get in the way of God. And then I will close the words today. Today I close with 8 items to help us not let our busy schedule get in the way of God. Number 1, look at your schedule. Look at your schedule. You know, so many times you can get so busy in life that you don't even have time, not only time to listen, but you don't even have time to look. Look at your schedule and then see who's on your agenda. See who's on your agenda. I know for me, I make a list of things I need to do. I need to look at that list. Look at my schedule, but most important, you need to make sure you see God on that schedule. No matter what you have to do, no matter the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, why, you need to make sure God is on that schedule. And that's what the Word of God said in the book of Revelation. Too many of God's people have forgot their first love. Too many of God's people, they want to say, God, you can go with me here, but I don't want God to go with me there. God knows all things. God sees everything. God knows everything about it. Look at your schedule and make sure that you see God. The second thing you need to do, prioritize your schedule. Make you a list from 1 to many. You can do 1 from 10. Whatever you have to do for that day, you make your list. You may need a page. You may two pages. You may just need a half a page. Prioritize your list, 1 through 20, and then you need to make sure that God is number 1 on your list. See, that's what we're guilty of. A lot of times we want to put God last. Sometimes we want to put God on the shelf. Sometimes we want to put God on standby. I told y'all that last week. Sometimes, God, I want you to just stay over there, and then we run in trouble. We know where you're at. God, we know where to come to you if we need something. We run low on money. God, we know where to come. Our God, and I say this and I will continue to say it, our God is too good to be used. We can't put God on standby. We can't put God on retirement. We can't use God every now and then. We must have God every hour of the day. We need him every day. Prioritize your schedule and look at your number 1 position. You know, as a mechanic, it says in order for a car to run good, don't have any miss, did not run rough, we must always make sure that our number 1 spark plug is in time. It has to time up with the cylinder. They go piston, they go up and down. If it's not in sync, it's going to miss. It's going to backfire. It's going to lose pressure. Same thing in our life. If we don't make sure Jesus is number 1 in our life, we're going to lose power. We're going to lose energy. We're going to run out of energy. Number 2, find out which way you connect with God best. Find out. Look at your schedule and find out which way you connect with God best. There's some people that connect with God with music. Some connect with God with reading. Some connect with God with singing. Some connect with God by patting their feet. Some connect with God. I remember the old school where people just moan. That's their connection with God. Whatever your connection is, keep it on your schedule. Don't let nothing or no one separate you from the love of God. Keep your connection on your schedule. Next, number 4, keep prayer on your schedule. So many times people want to pray during bad times. I often talk about the storms of life. We as God's children, we need to pray before the storm. We need to pray during the storm. And we need to pray after the storm, knowing that our adversary has more storms in the forecast for us. Keep prayer on your schedule. Regardless of the 5 W's again. What, when, who, why, and where. Keep prayer on your schedules because prayer is the answer to all our problems of today. Prayer not only changes things, but prayer also changes people. Number 5, give you time to write that. Number 5, take time for God. Take time for God. You know, this is the key. This, when I looked at this here, the words that God given me, this is the major one. Take time for God, because a lot of times we get so busy. We talk about all what we need to do. We talk about all what we have take care of. We have to make sure that we take time for God. And a lot of people fail this one here. You know why? Because they try not, it's not they don't take time for God. They'll tell you this: I'm going to make time to come to church. I'm going to make time to read my Bible. I'm going to make time to do this, make time. Well, let me introduce you to something that's not new. You cannot make time. I told you before, time doesn't wait on anyone. We have to take time. Take time for God. Take time out of your busy schedule. I don't care if it's 5 minutes a day. I don't care if it's 10 minutes a day. You need to take time for God regardless of what you have to do. You have to take time for God regardless of how many things you have to do. Then, the next thing I want you to do on number 6, I need you to inventory your schedule. Inventory your schedule. You know we have to live life. We have to go to work. We have to take care of the children. We have to take the children to a virtual training now, learning. We have to take them to practice. We have to take them to football game. There's a lot you have to do in your life alone. So I do know that life can be busy, but this day God is telling us inventory your schedule, and then you need to see what's getting too much of your time.